Hi, friends. Welcome to Lotus in the Light. My name is Jennifer. Thank you for joining. If you're here, it's because I believe that Spirit has divinely orchestrated that, and there must be um, a message in this for you as well as for me and anyone else that's listening. So, as with any group message that's reaching multiple people, please take what resonates and leave behind what doesn't. It may not all be for you, but you'll know what's for you. You'll feel it deep inside. I'm looking over like I want to start with it. Well, maybe I will start with a card. So I know what I want to talk about because Spirit deeply, deeply moved me on this topic actually yesterday. I was sitting down, just taking a kind of a moment of a break, and a family member popped in my mind out of nowhere. And not entirely out of nowhere. I had been messaging her recently, but not yesterday. So she just popped in my mind yesterday. And in that moment, Spirit said something very specific to me about her. Spirit said, she is the strongest soul in your family. I was a little taken back by that. Like, okay, wow. Especially because when we think of the term strong or strength, we get very particular ideas in our mind of what that means. And I would by no means say that this person is not strong, but to say that she is the strongest in our family, she would not have emerged at the top of that list. When we think about whether we're thinking of like physical strength and somebody that's, working out, pumping iron and like is like physically strong, or mental fortitude, or assertiveness, type A, get crap done, aggressive, aggressive is a harsh word, but you know what I'm saying. Um, like when I think of someone that's strong, those are some of the attributes that come to mind. Yet this person operates very differently than that. But the moment I accepted that statement, that the reasons started to become fully illuminated for me. I didn't really have to think about it with my thinking mind. It just kind of filled my soul with that information. And sorry, I must have some throat chakra clearing that's happening right now. So anyway, yeah, so I was immediately shown that the reason for her soul strength is because of her commitment to diversity. And again, I don't even know that this is a conscious choice. So that's why I'm saying we're talking about the strength of her soul, and what our souls know and are doing are generally unknown to us in our human form. So I can't even say that I've ever heard this person use the word diversity. But that's what Spirit was conveying to me very strongly, that her soul recognizes the importance of diversity to the human experience. And now more than ever, it's becoming more and more prevalent that we're seeing more and more diversity in new and different ways. And it's actually a beautiful thing. And I'm going to say more and more uniqueness as well. Diversity nowadays can be a very like politically motivated, divided word. And so just to remove the stigma, I'm going to say uniqueness as another way of saying it. But whatever word you want to use, it's just so critical to who we are. And somehow humanity has fallen into this pattern of really being hell-bent on being a sea of sameness. It's like religions have decided you have to believe these things and you have to behave this way. And um, governments have decided that you have to operate this way. And people have decided, races have decided that our culture has to look this way. And countries have decided that we are going to be this way. And there's a thing called archetypes, right? Like there's different archetypes that have their own unique characteristics. A mother is an archetype. An American is an archetype, right? A spouse is an archetype, a child. But it doesn't mean that we can't have uniqueness within that we have to be homogenized to all look and feel and act and be the same. And in fact, what Spirit has come to show me is that it's the diversity that is actually important to our purpose on this earth. And our purpose on this earth is about the experience. And the diversity of experience is so important because as we experience and expand our own consciousness, we're expanding the consciousness of the divine. We're expanding the universe's consciousness, God's consciousness through our unique experiences. And each of us is like a music playlist, right? Like your playlist is different than my playlist because it's influenced by different things. It's influenced by where we grew up, by challenges that we faced that are uniquely ours, by the family we have that's uniquely our family, by the things that we experienced once we left home that's unique to you, by the education that you have that's unique to you, by the religion that you have that's unique to you. And while you may share in all of those things with other people, collectively this is uniquely shaping you, right? And it's beautiful, it's wonderful. We don't want to bring conformity to that. It would be no fun if you turned on the radio and every song was the same song over and over and over and over and over, because every artist had the same inspirations, the same preferences for style of music, the same, that blah, that would be boring and it would not be very expansive. And divine source, energy at the very core of energy is always expanding, never contracting. And so the more we try to create a sea of sameness, what we're really doing is we're resisting God, we're resisting the divine, we are resisting the flow of energy in its need to expand. And so when we think about, if we think about God as, well, God is energy. And energy, if you think about energy, it comes through in very many different frequencies. And those frequencies are come through as in the form of rays. That's colors. We have a rainbow. Who would want a rainbow of all red? No fun, right? So, but not only do we just have the 7 colors in the standard red, orange, green, or red, orange, yellow, green, so on and so on, but there's a million, an infinite amount of shades of each of those colors in between. And that's us. That's us. Energy is light, light rays, and we are energy, and we are uniquely at our own vibrational frequency, which gives us our own color, literally, right? Our own color. But our own color from a personality perspective. And so as the world has kind of moved more and more towards this homogenization of humanity to think alike, act alike, look alike, it has become more important for souls to step forward and step into the human experience with diversity that is almost being forced upon us. So for example, over the last few hundred years, I would say you see more and more what we would call disabilities, right? But what those disabilities are doing is they're bringing forth, and I wouldn't call them disabilities, but that's the language that we're going to use. They're bringing forth experiences, people's experiences, where they're saying, I'm not going to conform to this because I can't. I physically can't, or I mentally can't because of these disabilities. I can't work 8 to 5, or I can't walk upstairs, or I can't, and so you're being forced to reckon with diversity as an experience when people are literally born different and you cannot force them into the mold that you want to put them into. Now, that's a real extreme example just of mental or physical disability, but many of us are also just stepping in, our souls are stepping into this human experience and committing to diversity in a different way, committing to breaking the boundaries of the gender binary, right? And saying, no, I refuse to just be male or just be female. That's not how I identify. Male and female, by the way, are just physical expressions of the feminine and masculine energy within all of us. And depending on how that is depicted within you determines, do you carry more masculine traits? Do you carry more feminine? I'm a woman, I'm a holy woman, but yet for many years I operated in more of a masculine energy. In this past 8 year and a half, I've really learned how to find balance in that and bring forth more of my feminine energy. That's not to say that I wasn't girly in many ways, because I was, but it's bigger than the stereotypes that we put around male and female or masculine and feminine. It's deeper than that. Sorry, I feel like I got off on a little tangent there, but we're seeing that being expressed differently and people wanting to bust out of the boxes that society has put them in. This isn't to say that folks like this haven't existed since the beginning of time. They have. There's plenty of documentation about it. It's just that now their voice is stronger. Now we have tools like the internet, like social media, that allows them to collect and become a singular voice, become a collective and a force to be reckoned with, if you will. And now people are just standing up more strongly for themselves than they ever have before. People are no longer identifying as just heterosexual. Forever it was just heterosexual. Everything else was some form of perversion by most of society's thinking and belief systems. And then, eventually homosexuality became more and more prevalent as an acceptable lifestyle and inner state of being. And now we've seen that blown to pieces, right? Like more and more people are saying, no, I don't want to identify as either of those because I don't fit those definitions. I don't fit into that box that you've created. Men and women. Hey, there was a time when if men cooked dinner, what's wrong with you? That is a woman's job, right? And now men love to cook. You know, I see it all the time. My husband does almost all of our cooking, thank God, because it would not be good if I had to do it. But that's the way that we continue to embrace diversity and embrace change and embrace evolution, expansion. This is really all about expansion, right? And so I want to circle back to my family member. So this person in my family, what was shown to me was that her soul stepped into this life saying, "I will not conform," and that doesn't mean that she won't or hasn't in her humanness conformed to some degree, because we all do to some degree, right? We come in open-minded, born into this world, and then we're quickly taught what behavior is acceptable, what behavior is not acceptable, what words are acceptable, what words are not acceptable, what lifestyles are acceptable, what careers are acceptable, what clothing are acceptable, what music is acceptable. Like somebody's got it all figured out for you, and it's just a matter of who you're going to listen to, right? And you will conform, and we all do in many, many ways. And she's no different in that way, except she is. Except she does push the boundaries. She does say, no, this is me. And it doesn't conform to, I don't like the things that you like. I don't do the things that you do. I don't engage in the conversations you engage in or want me to engage in or think I should engage in. I don't spend my time doing the things you think I should do or want me to do or would fit society's narratives. And, you know, whether she's consciously aware of it or not, this is a choice that her soul has made and saying, I'm going to step into this life and I am going to resist conforming to the greatest degree that I can, that she will allow, that her human self will allow, not remembering what she was committing to when she stepped into this life, right? And so she's committed to this to the point that, like, push me too far and I will just close up shop and shut down. Like, I am not going to uh, adopt these alternate things that are not me. Anything that is less than authentically ourselves is death. It's what it is, what it is. Anything that we are doing that's outside of who we are at our core. And I'll tell you what, I've learned in the last 18 months, I had no idea who I was at the core. No idea. I am not anywhere close. I mean, there's many things about me that are the same, but also so different. I'm so different. I'm still discovering. Who knows? Who knows who I will realize that I am a year from now. And it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And anything short of that, you're selling yourself short. And not only you know, again, I come back to this idea, like, who wants a rainbow of all red, right? And not only is that diversity important to the beauty of this world and the human experience, it's important to what is required of this earth experience. It's we are by design going to expand. We cannot, we can resist it as hard as we would like to, as hard as we'd like to try. It's going to happen. We're going to grow. We're going to transform. We're going to expand. It's unavoidable. And we can do it the hard way, and we can make it more painful, and we can do it with more suffering, or we can just embrace who we are and stop fighting it and thoroughly enjoy it. And so I just want to celebrate this person in my family who, like, thank you to her soul. And she's one of many. We're seeing more and more of them as time goes on, more and more of them, many in my generation, even more in my children's generation, and even more will be in their children's generation, who are coming here to show us what diversity is and how beautiful and wonderful it is, and how anything less than fully embracing and embodying that diversity is just clipping our wings and dulling us. It's turning us into a gray scale of a beautiful, colorful picture. And so I want to keep us moving in that direction. And I'm thankful for my family member whose soul came here to help us to do the same. Okay. I'm going to, I want to close with two are calling to me. One is Sacred Rebels, because she's a rebel. She's out there bucking the system, saying, this is me, like it or not, that's your problem. I don't know if that's how she thinks about it when she's in her room alone at night, or, you know, at home alone at night or whatever. Like, there could be a lot more struggle to it than that for her. And I'm sure that there is, because she's so different. Sorry, we already have one here. Um, Sorry, what was I saying? because she's so different, I'm sure that there's struggles with that, but she's doing it anyway. And I love it. And that makes her a rebel in my eyes. And I love that. Okay. 14 breaks down to a five. Fives are about change. It's about wrestling with, straddling two different ideas, two different beliefs, two different experiences, two different lives, two different yous, the authentic you and the mask you've put on around you. That's what fives are all about, is shedding that mask. And it says going beyond normal. I love this. Going beyond normal. Okay, and a couple actually fell out. So if another one wants to speak, let me see what the other two were focus on the light and spirals of manifestation. But I'm going to read this going beyond normal. And then I want to do, because this is outside of the normal, my fairies oracle. I haven't done my fairies oracle yet. So 14, I have had this before, but it's been a really long time, so I can't even remember what it's about. But what I do love is, it's probably hard to see it. This is a very interesting imagery. So you've got the golden light bulb, right? That is divine connection, divine inspiration. She's following divine inspiration. She's following what she knows, just her own intuition of who she is. She's choosing herself. How often do we choose ourselves in life? What a role model this person is and doesn't even know it. But the other thing is, these are all buttons. I don't know if you can tell. This is so weird. These are all buttons. And you know what? They're all different sizes. They're all different colors. Some of them have 2 holes. Some of them have 4 holes. Some of them have a rim around it. So they're all unique. I love it. Okay, going beyond normal. 14. On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream or we can dare to take a bolder. Oh my gosh. Like, if you don't believe spirit was in on this reading, I don't know what. Sorry. Stopped mid-sentence, didn't I? On the path of life, there are deciding moments where we can choose to go with the mainstream or we can dare to take a bolder, more authentic and trusting way, even if it seems riskier or less safe. To rely solely on logic and science without incorporating the mysterious and magical is a recipe for an existence that is far too dry. I love this. The sacred rebel within our hearts will always choose a juicier approach to life. You are currently approaching such a choice point. Okay, so if you're watching, listen up. You could say that the choice is about balance. It's less about choosing to honor either art or science, gardening or agriculture, and more about integrating all approaches so that you enhance rather than hinder your life journey. That's right. We are all of the things. We are male and female. We are all races. We are all ages and sizes, and like, it's all within us. We're all connected. We're all one. Embrace it all. Placing science or architecture above all else kills off the rebellious heart. Steadfastly relying on logic, proof, and a complete set of plans to measure and dictate outcomes will suffocate the soul. Basing decisions on limited factors with an imbalanced measure of success is unnecessarily limiting. This approach prevents us from living freely, spontaneously, and with trust so that we can rebel against the need for things to go strictly according to plan. Choose to value decisions based on passion and instinct, and trust in life enough to embrace it as an adventure and let it unfold as it will. There's a time and place for logic, strategy, planning, and measurable outcomes. These are not bad tools, but these are not bad tools to have, but we must be vigilant not to worship them or allow them to quash our less rational but equally valuable decision-making tools: intuition, feelings, and those things you know without knowing how you know them. I love this. My son and I are getting ready to do a chess game. My son's pretty good at chess. And he's like, I want to teach you my strategies. And I said, well, first, I want to play a game and just go 100% off intuition and just see, because he's good and I never beat him. And before you teach me your strategies, your left brain thinking mind strategies, I just want to see what my higher mind will let me accomplish without even really thinking. And I love what this is saying. It's talking about the balance, which is super important. The balance is important, but putting too much weight in one or the other when we're in the human experience is to our detriment, because we are fully human, but we are also fully energy, fully spiritual. So I love this. Let me just skip down maybe to the last. There's a whole nother 2 pages. Let's just go to the very last thing it says. You are not necessarily meant to abandon logic and intellect altogether. You are to use them to serve the desires of the heart rather than to replace its natural, spontaneous, and truthful nature with controlled planning and narrow strategy. It's time to get a bit wild and let nature take its course. Love that. Okay, rebels, start tuning into that intuition. You've got it. We all do. We can't say you don't. We all have it. Okay. And then last, I'm going to do Oracle of the Fairies. I'm just shuffling here. Okay. Okay, let's see what pops out here. This one's in, oh, there it is. Shine from within. I love this. Shine from within. I mean, come on. Going beyond normal, shine from within. Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. Like I said, this family member of mine, and I want you to start looking at your friends and your family differently and not looking for the ones that are depicting this outward strength of like being able to maybe voice their opinion confidently. Like we think of strength as like this um, outwardness, this listen to me, look at me, I'm confident in what I say and what I think and what I do, and that's not always what it is. And in the case of this family member of mine, she doesn't really demonstrate that to the world, but what she does demonstrate to the world is exactly who she is at a soul level, and exactly who she came to this earth to be. Let me say it that way, because when we come into the earth experience, the human experience, it's elements of our soul, but it's not the wholeness of our soul. It's elements of our soul coming forth to have certain experiences. And so you'll bring certain elements of your soul with you into that to help shape the you that is you. And she brings that forward so beautifully and embraces herself so beautifully. And I love this. Okay. I mean, what more can there be said about this? I love you so much. Thank you for joining me, and embrace the diversity, embrace the you that is you. And the more you embrace the you, the more grace and space you have for everyone else. And that's how we will find the peace and harmony and the love for diversity in this world. Peace out.